Hi, welcome back to the farm. My name's Roz, also known as Passion Flower, and you'll find me here each week talking about my farming and creative life. Hi, I'm back. It's been a big 2 weeks. I've had a wonderful holiday. I feel wonderfully refreshed. I had a really good time away, which I'll talk about in a minute. But a quick farm update first. Obviously, I haven't been around very much, so um, I'm just sort of getting back into farm life at the moment. Before I left, Vito had just had his surgery. I was spraying him with an antiseptic spray to make sure that the wound healed nicely and to keep away the flies. And once I went away, someone was doing that for me and just keeping an eye on him. And he seems to be really, really good. He seems calm and happy. Everything is healing really well. So that's really great. I still need to keep him away from Evie for another 6 weeks, probably, which is a little bit of an issue in terms of the paddock. So it's gotten quite hot here. Everything has dried out, and the grass is just not growing as quickly as it was during winter and spring. It has dried out quite a lot. There's not a lot of grass. So I am feeding hay and grain. If I had been able to have the three sheep together, I would have been resting the little shed garden grass area so that then I could put them in there and give them a little treat and then pull them back out again. But because I've had to keep them separated, both areas are being eaten down. But I think I'll be able to manage moving forward. I am coming out in the evenings when it's cooler, once the sun has gone down, and I am filling up water and feeding and spending some time patting them, going between each of the paddocks so that I keep them all happy. Um, and I am watering parts of the grass. We've also had the sprinkler out on the grass a little bit as well, on not quite as hot days, just to try and rejuvenate some of the grass a little bit. It's a grey, cooler, misty, damp morning this morning, but it is going to get quite hot again this afternoon. So this little bit of moisture will hopefully help a little bit as well to give the grass a little bit of growth. So it was nice to be away, but it was also nice to come back and to see Wade again. He was so happy to see me. I did miss my pets. That's the hardest part about going away on holidays. I did have a really wonderful time. It was great to switch off and not have to go through the routine of chores and everything. Really, the biggest decisions or choices to make in a day were what clothes to wear, what drink to order, and what food to eat. So it was a very relaxed few days. I had a wonderful holiday. It was a 7-day cruise to South Australia on the Grand Princess. And I'd never been on a cruise before, so I was a little bit nervous about it. I'd done quite a lot of research about what to pack and what to expect and all that kind of thing. So, in terms of that, I was fairly well prepared. I did get some seasickness on the first day. The waves were about 6 meters the first night, and there was quite a bit of swell, so like lots of churning around. So, not just going in one direction, but sort of like a washing machine. And I was able to sleep through, so that was really good. But as soon as I got out of bed and stood up, I just felt a little bit nauseated. So I got some water, I sat outside, took some motion sickness tablets, and I even wore the pressure bands. And after the first morning, I settled in and I felt much better. And after that, I was fine and I had a really, really, really great time. So I went with a group from Unwind. We had a standing dinner reservation for 6 o'clock every night so we could meet up and chat, and we sat on different tables and got to meet all the different people, which was really fabulous. During the day, we had a spot where we would meet and sit and craft. Not that I got a lot of crafting done. Or you could go off and do your own thing. And then there were the days where we had the excursions and we would go to some yarn shops on particular days. And then we went off on our own excursions as well. So you're sort of with different people all the time. And then I could also retreat off to my own balcony and spend some time out there, or wander around the ship and explore. So it was really fabulous. And I may have already booked myself onto another one for 2024. So now I've got that to look forward to, which is really, really exciting. That next one is to Tasmania. So we went to Adelaide first, and as a group, we went to Yarn Trader, the yarn shop. I will show you my acquisitions from the goodie bag and from the yarn shops I went to in Creative just a little bit later on. We also went to Kangaroo Island. We had to get over to Kangaroo Island on a tender boat, which is a smaller boat. It was a little bit rough, but it worked out fine. I was going to do a quad biking excursion, but I ended up missing the bus to go to that excursion because of the late tenders across, and I didn't end up getting my ticket in time. So I was transferred onto a different excursion, which was fine, and had a little explore of Kangaroo Island. It wasn't what I'd hoped for, and I didn't get to see much of the island really, but it was still a fun day out off the ship. And then we also stopped in Port Lincoln, went on a hop-on, hop-off bus excursion, which was really good, with a local who was telling us all about the area, which was really interesting, all about its fisheries and its history. We went to a really amazing lookout where we got to see both the sea and inland. It was really, really beautiful. Did go to a couple of craft stores there as well, and there was also a craft market there, so that was really good. So we had 3 days of days in port, and then we also had some days at sea. Those sea days were spent sort of relaxing in the morning, slow start, and then wandering around the ship, exploring, and then just sitting and talking and crafting with the rest of the group. And it was just really fabulous. I did go swimming one day, which was big for me. I'm not really a swimmer, so but I'd had to experience actually swimming on the ship. I just had to do it at least once. And it was a hot day. There is so much to do on a cruise ship. There are shops, there's a theatre, they play movies, there's so many restaurants and bars. There's a casino that I did not go to, but it was part of the experience to kind of wander through and see it all. I also enjoyed spending time on my balcony with a drink, watching the waves go by and watching the sunset. Was really, really beautiful and such a relaxing and just easy holiday. So when I arrived, I was able to go straight to my room. I unpacked and got myself a drink and went for a wander. Met up with the rest of the group and had dinner that night. The staff and the service were just fantastic. Nothing was too much trouble. You were able to get food and drink, whatever you wanted, pretty much whenever and wherever you wanted. I was really hoping that it was going to be the kind of holiday that I would enjoy, just because I was looking for sort of that resort style, everything included holiday, so that I didn't have to think about anything or really do anything. And I'm not really a flyer, so the fact that you basically go to sleep and you travel to the next port while you're sleeping, and you wake up and you're in a beautiful new place and you've been able to sleep in a bed and have all your clothes unpacked is really, really fabulous. Yeah, it was really comfortable, and I really can't rate it highly enough. It was just a really wonderful holiday. It took me a couple of days when I got home to find my land legs again, and now I'm getting back into real life. But that's what happens after a holiday, and that's why you enjoy them when you're on them so much. So now I have my next one to look forward to. It's still now a long way away, but it's there, it's in the diary, and I'm really glad that I enjoyed cruising so much. And yeah, I do really recommend it, at least to try it out. It may not be for you, but I really did enjoy it. If you've got any questions about it, I'm happy to answer them. Just leave them below, or send me a message. because I had been for a long time quite tentative about it. I didn't think that cruising was for me, but because of the unwind group, I thought I'd give it a try, and I've just really fell in love with it. It it really did suit me, because I was able to retreat to my room when I wanted some quiet time and having the balcony, but also was able to be quite social. Um, I think if you're traveling by yourself, you could also be quite social because you would have your dinners where you could sit at a table with people. You could wander through the shops, and there's demonstrations and classes and all sorts of things, trivia, where you can actually interact with people. And then you have that off ship experience where you can explore different places. Obviously, not a lot of business to update you on because I have been on holiday and had my shop in holiday mode, but I am now getting back into the swing. I'm about to pack my car and head to Creswick this weekend for another Tea Time Yarn Retreat Market, the first one for this year. Then next week, I'm going to have to do a big audit of my stock. It is quite low. So I need to look at my colorways that I currently have and where the numbers are at in terms of stock levels, and start to dye batches of all of those colors that I need to replenish, as well as do some creative stuff and do some new colors for the year as well. I am applying for a couple more markets, and when I have those dates, what I think I will do is add an events page to my website so that you'll be able to see where you'll be able to find me in person throughout the year. Okay, so craft. Honestly, I did not do a lot of knitting on the ship. And I knew that that was going to be the case. I get distracted and I watch what other people do, and I sit and I eat and I drink. And so I took some socks and I did a little bit on those. I took my brioche scarf and I did, I don't know, 10, 15 rows of that. And that was pretty much it. I took a couple of other skeins of yarn, did not start any other projects. So the whole knitting didn't really happen, but as I said, I did expect that to be the case, and I didn't really mind. So for the next trip I go on, I'm going to be more realistic about the projects that I do take with me. I will take a lot less so that I have more room for the things that I buy. And if I take a set of needles with me and buy yarn, I can always cast something on if I want to, rather than having to carry everything with me on the ship and not end up using it at all. I will show you my knitting progress next week. I think this is going to get a little bit long. So, as I said, there's not that much. And between now and then, hopefully I will have some proper progress to be able to show you. So, to my acquisitions while I was away. So we got a goodie bag from Unwind. There was a basket. There was also a handmade project bag. I didn't bring that with me. I will show you that next week. We've got the little Unwind pouch. There were lots of little notions and stitch markers, a little stand where you can put your mobile phone with a little bowl for stitch markers, a little magnetic pouch that has scissors and needles. That was really cool. Lots of little bits and pieces like that, but I'll show you the yarn today. So we got a whole bunch of mini skeins that were dyed by Robin, and 2 balls of the heirloom alpaca 4-ply. And then we got like a little note about choosing a project for these that would use scraps and minis to put together. So I don't know what I'm going to make with this yet. Maybe I will do a sea glass tea, but I'm not 100% sure. And I might end up combining these with some of my own mini skeins or other minis that I have, or bits of scraps that I have lying around. Also in the goodie bag, I got Patagonia Organic Merino from Juniper Moon in this beautiful blue. It's slightly like heathered, and also the Grange 14 plain. It's like a dusty pink color. We each got a skein or a ball from Half Baked Hand Dyed, and it's an exclusive unwind self-striping colorway. So I'm excited to actually cast these socks on. That will be quite cool. And then on the last day, we all showed what we had bought throughout the week, and they awarded a few prizes for different things, silly things, just a bit of fun. I don't even really know what I got this prize for in the end. I know there was like a running joke. I was keeping track of the amount of ice cream that I was eating, so it was partly to do with that. This beautiful purple, it's called Purple Rain by Fiore. So this was my prize skein, as well as a pattern that it could potentially be used for. Oh, here's the bag that we got in the goodie bag. So this is made by Jock Art. One of the ladies who actually comes to the Unwind wine and cheese nights. It's a beautiful bag. Okay, so I didn't purchase a lot, especially compared to some of the other people, but I did buy a little bit. So we went to Yarn Trader in Port Adelaide. So I wanted to get mostly South Australian yarns, things that I hadn't seen before or been able to buy without buying online. So it was good to see things in person. So I got one skein of Nomad, which is from a farm in South Australia, and it is dyed with cochineal. It's by Nomad Farms. Beautiful light pink. I got 3 skeins of this Big Dapper DK in the Gently Gently colorway. So it's a tweed with grey and pink by Cola Girl Collective. So I think I'm going to combine these together. So 3 of these and 1 of these together to make a jumper of some kind. So I'm looking at the moment to try and figure out what to do with that. Then I got some socks, in DK. So I got 2 of these to make some socks to go with my Merry People orange gumboots. Then I got these little cute stoppers to go on the end of your needles. Then I got some of the Yarn Trader Studio yarns. This color is called Tea in the Garden. It's a 4-ply, superwash merino and nylon. It's really, really pretty and not the kind of style that I dye. So I like to get things that are different. And I've paired that with this, which is Earth Yarns, which is actually made in Turkey, but I've never seen this brand before. So I thought that would go really beautifully together into either a top or a shawl. So that was pretty restrained. That's what I got from Yarn Trader. Then at a shop called Ruby and Kate in Port Lincoln, I didn't think I was going to find any. It was mostly commercial yarns that you can get anywhere, and that's sort of not what I was going for. I was looking for things that were a little bit different, but I found 3 skeins of this recycled denim. It's a 80% recycled denim and 20% mixed fiber. And there's the label. So I got the last 3 of these, and I think that this is going to make a really great summer top, maybe like a tank or a singlet. I'm not sure. I need to find a really good pattern for it, but I'm excited to try using this recycled fiber. Well, that's it for another week. Thanks for spending some time with me. If you're enjoying these videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and look forward to seeing you next week on the farm. Bye.